What is up, webheads? Welcome back to another very exciting Marvel Spider-Man 2 video where we're going to be breaking down the brand new launch trailer for the game that Insomniac and PlayStation just released for all of us, and boy, do we have a lot to delve into and to talk about. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right into this bad boy. The very first shot of this trailer, we get to see Peter in the black suit facing off against Lizard. We definitely saw a majority of this boss battle from the select number of content creators that actually got to attend the preview event for the game and played the game early. But nonetheless, it's still nice to get another shot of Peter kicking the Lizard in the face because that battle is going to be absolutely awesome. There's also a couple very quick blink and you'll miss it type of shots of Miles using his brand new Venom powers, and an all-new shot of the Beast himself, Venom, giving his iconic roar. Although the trailer does properly open up with Peter web-slinging in the dead of night. No symbiote suit though, he's just in his classic red, white, and blue advanced suit 2.0. And we hear a voiceover from Yuri Lowenthal, who plays Peter Parker, saying, "We have to talk." We of course don't know the full context here, who he's talking to, what he's talking about, but just from the tone of his voice, we know it probably isn't good. Miles is then seen in a very different location. I'm guessing it's one of Kraven's hideouts. He's trying to make sense of this brand new location that he's in, and we get a voiceover from Najee Jeter, who of course plays Miles Morales, and he says, "This is something else." And right after that whole cutscene, we hear Miles reach out saying, "I need your help," and it transitions beautifully into Miles using the web wings. And I'm guessing when we hear Miles saying, "I need your help," he's of course talking to Peter in the very next shot. As we see Miles and Peter in some sort of classroom, I'm guessing this is actually where Peter's starting his new job of his teaching gig, and wouldn't it be so freaking funny if Peter just so happened to be Miles's teacher in this brand new job that he's starting? That would be absolutely hilarious. But anyways, Pete's starting this brand new job, and he pretty much says in response to Miles, "Are you sure this isn't something, you can handle yourself?" Peter's gonna be starting this brand new gig and trying to start a brand new fresh chapter in his life, and he really doesn't want to screw it up and let, the Spider-Man related activities screw this up for him, because it's a big opportunity. But unfortunately, I really think that this is going to be the main, conflict between Peter and Miles. Peter's trying to get that sense of normalcy in his life, and he's probably going to look to push a lot of the Spider-Man related instances and conflicts onto Miles. And while I completely get where Peter's coming from with this, it's kind of unfair on Miles that because he's still got school to worry about. He's going to have college essays that he's going to have to write to get him into college. And it's really going to be a sticky sort of situation, pun intended. And I completely get where both sides are coming from. And after Peter asks Miles, "Are you sure this isn't something you can handle yourself?" we get a few very quick cutscenes of Miles getting beat up, and it looks like that he's struggling as Spider-Man. He gets thrown through a window of a building, and we get one of the best shots from this whole trailer, and it's Miles versus Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative, 1v1, and boy, this is one of my most highly anticipated interactions and just boss fights in general, because it's going to be absolutely insane. The stakes are incredibly high, the emotions are there, the history is there, and man, it's going to be something to behold. And even in the next shot, we get a shot of Flint Marko, aka Sandman, in massive, and I mean massive form. I'm talking Sandman size from the finale of Spider-Man 3. Heck, maybe even bigger. Then after all those rapid cutscenes of Miles, getting put through the absolute ringer, Miles responds with, "I'm sure." There's also some extended shots of the fight, with Sandman, and we do actually see Peter accompanying Miles there. So I think we can guess the whole time that Miles is asking for Peter for help, maybe it's this whole interaction with Sandman that he needs help with. Peter might have to cut class as a teacher to go help Miles with Spidey work, which is definitely not going to be a good look. And unfortunately, I can see Peter getting fired for something like this. One of our first shots of Peter at Coney Island taking out some goons is shown. We saw in the deluxe edition Suits trailer that we are going to be doing some Spidey related activities at Coney Island, like stopping the roller coaster from crashing, for example, but it seems like some goons are definitely going to be causing some mayhem at Coney Island, and we're going to have to intervene. No location is going to be safe in this game. Okay, now this next shot is definitely, I think, my most favorite, or one of, if not my most favorite shots in this entire trailer. Insomniac actually shows the scene of Peter acquiring the symbiote and it latching on to him, and I'm really surprised that Insomniac chose to include that in this launch trailer. There's a voiceover included in the background. I'm pretty sure that it's Harry giving this description, and he says it's called the symbiote. and it chose you. And while Harry's saying this, after it shows that Peter's getting the symbiote on him, we see some of the symbiote abilities in combat that Peter is able to use, and a truly cinematic shot of Peter Parker with the symbiote suit in the rain. Such a great callback to the comics and from Spider-Man 3. Like I said, just such a beautiful cinematic shot in a video game. It's absolutely incredible, man. And clearly Norman knows of Spider-Man getting the symbiote because he's yelling to his Oscorp employees and mercenaries to get it off of him, and I think we can safely say that he's talking about Spider-Man with the symbiote. More Peter versus Lizard greatness is shown as Peter seems to be using his symbiote abilities and tendrils to temporarily disable the lizard so he can give him the serum to turn him back to Dr. Connors. An amazing dark symbiote Spider-Man quip is then said by Peter, saying, "Are you ready for your annual physical?" That's just so dark, man. But it's funny too. Some more cinematic shots of Peter fighting the lizard and Miles Morales taking out some goons with his insane acrobatics is also accompanied by one of the darkest and best lines throughout this whole trailer, and it's of Peter saying,
"I'm the hero here, not you."
It's then shown later on that Peter is talking to MJ when he says all this. As you can see, her clear as day red hair, and we see Harry Osborn in the background, and he is looking absolutely rough. He's looking like AIDS Goblin from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Dane DeHaan. He's got the cane and everything, and he just looks rough. This is definitely when Peter has the symbiote, obviously. You can just tell because normal Peter Parker would not be talking to anyone, let alone MJ, like this, and he's, of course, got a black shirt on, so that kind of confirms that. A familiar voiceover is then shown of Miles saying, "What's going on with Pete?" That was included in the original story trailer for the game, and unfortunately the Emily May Foundation seems to be completely caving in and getting absolutely ruined, and we see Peter on the ground with the symbiote, and that really gets me worried because I'm hoping Peter isn't like fatally wounded. Once again, another voiceover, this time from Mary Jane, telling Peter, I'm guessing, "You're not yourself." And then another jaw-dropping shot. We get to see the birth of Venom as the symbiote leeches itself onto a hand. We don't know who that hand belongs to. I'm low-key starting to believe it's not gonna be Peter. We hear our first voiceover from Tony Todd himself, who's playing Venom, saying, "You want to join us?" Some more epic in-game shots of Venom are being shown, him flying around the city. And we hear Mary Jane saying, "He's here." I feel like that might be a misdirect, as it's being set up that she's talking about Venom, but I have a feeling she's talking about Peter, and this may be the scene where we kind of see Peter hunting MJ, so that's definitely something to think about. Kraven's gunship is then shown taking it all out on Venom. That could lead to the scene of where we see Venom take down one of Kraven's gunships in Times Square. Then we see Mary Jane on a motorcycle saying, "I know I can snap him out of this," and I think she's of course talking about Peter. I mean, who else would it be to talk about? I mean, maybe if there's a chance that Harry becomes Venom, she could be talking about him as well. Peter and Miles then reunite and swing off to their next destination, and it cuts to an epic screech of Venom himself. And I think he's in Times Square, I think he's looking over Times Square at this point. But guys, that's gonna do it for this trailer breakdown, final trailer launch day breakdown, whatever you want to call it, for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It was definitely a lot to take in. I'm still gonna need to watch it a few more times to just truly take it in. This is definitely a very bittersweet moment, as this is probably one of the last, if not the last, pieces of marketing material for this game, as we're now 5 days away from the game's launch. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you got something out of here today, and make sure that you're a subscriber to the channel if you love Spider-Man related content, especially when it comes to Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Thank you all so much for watching. Many more videos to come that you're not going to want to miss. Catch y'all in the next video. See ya, chumps.
See you, chump.